Hey guys, new video here. In the background, you're gonna see the Metamorph trailer. And I would like to make this video to share my excitement about the upcoming league, because I already made a video about Conquerors the Atlas, how excited I am for that. And this is like a double content release, because although Conquerors the Atlas is endgame, it's going to be core to the game forever until they change it or remove it through other expansions. This is the challenge league for 3 months, so it overlaps, and it's going to be a lot to do. So while I was watching the trailer, and from like the news that we've all seen on Reddit, I wanted to go over some things that like kind of gets me wondering and kind of gets me like really hyped to play this and figure out what we can do with all the metamorphs, right? So as the trailer's playing, I'm going to overlay some images and talk about them, like images that are notable to me, so I can kind of like walk through what that might mean. Okay, so first you will probably see like Tane Octavius. He's a new master. He's like the Cassie. He's like the Alva. He's like the Nico of a new league, right? He's someone that's kind of on your side, I think, and you're going to talk to him to create these metamorphs and to like do something with the materials. And the first thing to note is like look at his MTX, right? He's got a Scuba Steve like old Navy diver outfit on, right? And it's kind of cool. It reminds me of BioShock, and it looks very different from like the other things that are kind of in the game, right? And that green gas, maybe that's a character effect that we might get. Like maybe this armor set or the character effect or something, back attachment, it might be something we get at 12, 24, or 36 challenges, like we have gotten similar themes in other leagues, but it's not always guaranteed, because if you look at Cassie has like a nice steampunk outfit that, you know, we can't get that. And then like Nico, we got his hat, but we didn't get his weird like thing that he's wearing, or his like bird cage. And then, you know, Alba, we have like the Conquistador armor, but it's a little bit different. So, you know, obviously it could be MTX we get, but it might not be, right? But you guys know me, I love MTX, and this guy looks he looks pretty dank. And another thing to look at is the first thing I saw was that if you look at the screenshot on the coast, right, the guy has like the regular life and mana flasks. He's got like no abilities on the bar. That means that this is actually the coast. After you get done with Lionized Watch, you know, you go outside, and that means that the Metamorph content, like all other content, is going to start really early on. Now, most power gamers will skip the league content and go directly to maps, but it's nice that if you want, you can create these metamorphs in the early zones, probably one per zone, and you'll be able to fight and try to get some rewards. Now look, make sure that you look at the menu, right? Because from this menu, what we can kind of deduce from this image is that if you're on the coast and you can reliably get all these parts from killing the monsters, and then from what we know, like you can combine the smaller parts, not the boss parts, are used in the zone that they're gotten. It means that these are for the most part, these are no loading screen encounters, which is pretty crazy, because later on in maps, when your character's all juiced up, hopefully there's no loading screen, and you can just use the buffs that you gain from the map and the juice that you gain from the map to one-shot the guy and get your rewards. So it looks like you're going to combine like the materials. There's a bar, and as Neon said at ExileCon, you know, the more powerful the monsters, you steal that power gauge on the right, that empty green bar right now. If you fill it up, you can get like the extract, like the boss's essence, right? So if you look at the tooltip, you know, you're getting some, I guess, some magic find chance at extra reward. We know how extra reward worked in Blight League, so it's kind of cool. And these modifiers, I'm guessing they're going to scale pretty high, because look at the reward tile compared to how much juice is in that bar. That bar is filled up like a tiny bit, and you still have some nice modifiers on there for the zone that you're in. So I expect like super juice maps with hard modifiers, maybe the boss essences, to give like massive rewards. And we also saw a kill at ExileCon where they killed the Metamorph and a bunch of crap spewed out, right? So there was there was like scarabs, there was fragments, there was the regular loot, explosion loot, like rares, uniques, things like that, just everything. And it's going to be an everything leak, so you could get a headhunter, you could get like all kinds of leak specific stuff. It's going to be really cool. Okay, that gets me pretty jazzed to be able to play this content all the time. Whereas if you think about Blight, you couldn't always play a blighted map if you wanted to. But Metamorph, every zone, you can play Metamorph. So that's kind of cool. That's what a challenge league, I think, should be, right? Okay, next thing to kind of notice I'm going to bring up is that there's like separate ones, right? There's like the every zone metamorph, right? Like the shifting, like the guy kind of looks like a Venom character, right? Where it's like the shifting tendrils and stuff. So in every single zone, if you want, you can fight this little like Venom character. But there's also a boss specific one. Now, if you look at the arena up here, right? This is like a little enclosed arena with like Tane watching over you. I think that the every zone one is going to be like a lesser version, right? Think of that as like regular Elder. And then there's going to be an Uber version of it. And that's what you get by filling up the green bar, extracting the essence of the boss of the map, and then combining those bosses into an Uber Metamorph that might be fought in some kind of arena. So this one you might want a boss killer. It might be a loading screen. You might not be able to take your buffs to like obliterate the Metamorph, but the rewards should be a lot higher, right? So scaling difficulty, scaling rewards, very nice for that league there. And you can see from this picture, like, well, you can't tell from the screenshot, but you can see in the trailer that there's like a comb guy, and then he's shifting into like the carcass boss, the trio, the unholy trio. And so these are end game map bosses as well as story bosses. So I expect them to be a little bit harder than just taking a cannibal heart and like a zombie foot and then like making this like garbage metamorph, right? So that's kind of cool that you get to choose. Hopefully the micromanagement isn't too hard. I mean, it's gonna be simpler than Betrayal or Synthesis probably, so that's fine. Now, speaking on the topic of bosses, I'm gonna pull up some screenshots here, and these screenshots are important because they're kind of different in the sense that, one, you have an Innocence. This is from the trailer when you're fighting an Innocence Metamorph. Now, if you've ever fought Innocence, you know that Innocence, the phased boss, is in a separate room in Basilica, right? So he doesn't show up in this location. This is very different than the room that he naturally appears in the story and the map Basilica content, right? You have to like go in. There's that circular room, and so this means that maybe you can take the boss metamorph essence and spawn it in a regular map. So once again, stacking up your character, getting the buffs, and one-shotting even an Uber metamorph maybe in a map that's seamless, no transitions, no loading screens. So that's wonderful. That is a possibility. But then if you look at this other image, this is Brine King. Now Brine King is the boss of a reef map, is that tier 13 still, tier 11? They shifted around a little bit, but anyways, it doesn't matter because this Brine King is a metamorph. You can tell by like the Venom overlay on him, right? And you can also see that he is in the reef map end boss zone. He's not just somewhere random in a Basilica map like the previous screenshot was. So what that means is that, does this mean that just randomly for the trailer they spawned a Brine King, a metamorph that has the Brine King essence as 1 out of the 5, and they just happen to proc it in this area of the map? Or does this mean that there's some interaction with the metamorph and the actual like end game area of that specific map? So that's like kind of confusing to me, but I'm like kind of like non-glowy brain right now. Maybe someone else can explain that to me. Maybe it's just coincidence they spawned it in that area. Maybe you can spawn it wherever you want, who knows? So that's kind of interesting. Another thing is when they play a lot of City Square. Like, people love City Square, huh? The City Square map layout is shown here. Now it could be the area before the Torch Courts, the Orion Square that you go through in the story mode, but judging by the character, the abilities, and all that stuff, I'm gonna guess that this is an endgame map. And if you look at the metamorph here, he's got an aura underneath him. Now, if you don't know, that's a speed aura, and so what's gonna happen is with this fight is that enemy is slightly faster. Now, why is that important? It's important because metamorphs from the previous screenshots, you know that metamorphs are made from currently 5 essences, at least the map versions are. Now, if you take 5 versions, the metamorph is supposed to use the abilities, right? So if you have a cannibal flamethrower or whatever, he's gonna throw like the physical converted fire projectiles at you. If you steal like a goat man, right, he's gonna probably shoot some fireballs, do some weird stuff, do some magma orb to you. And that makes sense. But what this image shows is that the rare, if you steal the well, you don't really choose, I don't think. Let's say the essence randomly drops from a rare monster. Then what that means is that when you create the metamorph, that part of the rare, when it shifts into that guy or the combined metamorph, has the affixes. And since we know there's multiple affixes, because you can only have one aura, but there's probably another couple affixes. What if that guy also has deadly, and what if that guy has splitting on him, right? So this is huge, because if you can lead to some situations per map where, does that mean that you have a Metamorph that has like 12 to 15 affixes on him? So, and let's say you have like the speed aura, the haste aura, you have the what else, discipline aura, let's say you have resist aura, you just get everything all at once, and you can one-shot them, right? So like the power spikes are gonna be insane this league, if that's how it works. If an essence that you use in the combiner has the core rare affixes on, if it dropped from a rare, then we are going to have some insane juice this league, and I am pretty damn excited, right? Especially because if it's percentage based, it's not too hard, because you need at least 5 per map, and maps aren't that long. If you put Beyond on your maps, Beyonds can only be blue or yellow. It drops from a yellow. It's like, oh, just so many chances for the essence base to be a rare mod pool attached to the Metamorph. Okay, so this is like really exciting if you like mapping, if you like juicing your characters. Okay, and I know Havoc's probably gonna be excited about that. Okay, and anyone else who wants to juice and get that dank XPs. So yeah, so that's overall, that's all. The trail was kind of short, right? It was like just over a minute long, and yeah, I'm jazzed. You can tell from my voice. I'm excited to play. We have like 12 days, 11 days left. I'm gonna play some Diablo 3 in the meantime. That game's pretty fun, I guess. And I hope you guys are looking forward to this, because with this kind of content, the juicing content, the rewarding content, the anything league, so to speak, with the Conqueror's Atlas, oh man, it's gonna be a nice 3 months. I hope you guys try out the game. And if you have any questions, stream every day on Twitch, and you guys can ask me questions there. Okay, bye everyone. Bye guys. Thanks for watching the video. Bye.